Welcome to the deep dive. We're taking a close look today at some really significant developments happening in Pakistan.
That's right. We've got international relations, economic shifts, social challenges, quite a mix.
It really is. And our goal here is to guide you through it all, pull out the key insights.
Exactly. We want to give you the important nuggets of knowledge from the sources, sort of a shortcut to understanding these complex dynamics without, getting lost in the weeds.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First up, some pretty serious geopolitical tension over the Indus Waters Treaty.
Yes. The statements coming out of India.
Right. Indian Home Minister Amit Shah basically said India will never restore the treaty. And he even mentioned plans to divert water that flows to Pakistan.
Divert it via a canal to Rajasthan, specifically. And he added that warning, didn't he, that Pakistan will experience a shortage of water.
That's incredibly direct. How did Pakistan respond?
Well, pretty strongly, as you'd expect. Their Foreign Office condemned it immediately. Called the remarks, I think, a brazen disregard for the sanctity of international agreements.
Wow. So a clear violation of international law, in their view.
That's exactly what they said. And you have to understand, this isn't just a political statement. Water is critical there.
For agriculture, energy?
Absolutely. Messing with that treaty could really escalate tensions in the region and, well, hit Pakistan's economy hard. Food security, energy security, it's all linked.
Okay, speaking of the economy, let's shift gears a bit. There's been big news in the power sector, too.
Ah, yes, the circular debt issue.
Exactly. Pakistan secured this massive Islamic financing facility, 1.275 trillion. It's about 4.5 billion US dollars.
Right, from a consortium of 18 local banks. The plan is to use that to tackle the escalating circular debt.
And they plan to repay it over 6 years. And importantly, it seems, without increasing public debt. That sounds, well, complicated. Can you break down circular debt for us quickly?
Sure. Basically, it's like a chain reaction of unpaid bills in the energy sector. Power producers aren't paid, so they can't pay fuel suppliers, and it just goes round and round, paralyzing things.
So this financing deal is meant to break that chain.
It is, and it's more than just paying off old bills. It's a signal, a signal about commitment to IMF reforms. That could boost investor confidence.
Which is essential for stability, I imagine.
Definitely. But the big question is whether they tackle the root causes. Things like infrastructure issues, transmission losses, tariffs.
Otherwise, the debt just builds up again.
Potentially, yes. It's a crucial first step, but fundamental reform has to follow.
Right. And sticking with economic reforms, another big one is Pakistan International Airlines, PIA. Privatization is moving ahead.
It is. They've got 5 bidders looking serious, including a military-linked consortium, which is interesting.
And the government's aiming for a full sale, right? But they're also taking on a huge chunk of PIA's debt, about $2.5 billion.
That's the plan. Taking on the debt makes the airline, well, more palatable for buyers. It really shows how deep the problems were and the cost involved in these reforms.
It's a major step tied into that IMF deal you mentioned.
Absolutely. A key milestone. But success really depends on whether new owners can actually turn it around, without needing more government help down the line.
Makes sense. Now, while PIA is being privatized, we're seeing sort of a mixed picture elsewhere in transport and tech. Careem is leaving Pakistan.
Yeah, that was announced. They'll suspend operations in July 2025. Remember, Uber, who owns Careem, already pulled out back in 2022.
Why are they leaving? They cited a tough economy, competition.
And limited investment, yeah. It seems even established foreign players are finding the current environment, well, challenging for that kind of digital consumer-facing model.
Interesting. But on the flip side, there's a new domestic airline starting up, Air Karachi.
That's right. Bit of optimism there. Backed by major Pakistani investors, they've got their license, the RPT license, for scheduled domestic flights.
So they're planning to start soon, with leased planes.
3 leased aircraft to start, focusing on domestic routes, but they're apparently looking at regional expansion later. It shows that local capital is still finding opportunities, maybe in slightly more traditional sectors.
Quite the contrast. Now, we also need to touch on a very difficult social issue that's gained national attention recently.
Yes, the tragic murder of the young TikToker, Sana Youssef, in Islamabad.
She was only 22. Happened on June 2nd. The reports say the accused was arrested shortly after, allegedly after being spurned by her.
It's absolutely heartbreaking, and it sparked, quite rightly, nationwide outrage. Protests demanding better protection for women.
It really puts a spotlight on women's safety, doesn't it? And the justice system's response.
It underscores just how urgent these issues are in Pakistan. It's a societal challenge that needs, well, immediate and ongoing focus.
So, looking back at everything we've covered, it's a really complex picture. We've got these high stakes water tensions with India, major economic moves with debt and privatization,
Shifts in the digital and aviation space, both exits and entries.
and these deeply concerning social issues around safety bubbling up. It really feels like Pakistan is juggling a lot right now, internal pressures, external ones.
It certainly is. And maybe that's the thought to leave with our listeners. When you consider all these different pressures, geopolitical, economic, social intent, what does it all suggest about Pakistan's path forward? How might these threads keep interacting and shaping the country's future?
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for breaking it all down.
My pleasure.